Hi there, I'm going to challenge myself today and make an outfit for my Wonder Frog out of some kind of scrap fabrics I have laying around. I thought it would be fun to do something with these two different fun furs and then this piece of fleece. I also have this pink ribbon I bought and never did anything with that I'm going to try and incorporate. But also challenge myself in the way of recording everything I'm doing. I'm not really good at, I guess, making video content, so I thought it would be an interesting experience to take a stab at this. So to start off with, I just have my basic little green Wonder Frog, Wanda. Also going to use this turkey, uncooked turkey on a stick. So you can see it's a needle felted kind of copy of, it's a little cursed, copy of the Wonder Frog's body that helps when you're, well, at least for me, helps when I'm trying to draft an outfit. As you can see, they're pretty, proportions are pretty close. I think this one's a little bit on the longer side, but it's mostly just so you can like pin fabric and do test fitting without having to worry about a big head, arms, and legs in the way. So the fabrics I have left over were literally in the bottom of my fabric stash. I might actually have to brush out the furs, but I'm kind of thinking about doing a cape of some kind of like winter cape or something. I think is kind of what I'm feeling here. I don't 100% know what I'm doing, which it's about par for the course for me. I don't know, I think it would be kind of cute to have other like make a cape out of the fur or like and have it fleece lined or something. Like, that's cute. How cute is that? Okay, we're done here. Just kidding. Typically what I do is I guess in the fashion world they'd call this pattern draping, to kind of come up with a pattern or something. I mostly just kind of fold the fabrics around to see how they behave. Maybe something I go, oh, that's really cool, I like how it works this way or looks this way. So the fleece could do some kind of like long cloak, even like I think a little hat would be cute. Oh my god, literally looks like a crazy hairdo. The white is very not two-dimensional, very, I guess, Santa Clausy trimming kind of. So I don't know, I'm not 100% sold on using every single piece of fabric and trimming that I have allowed myself to use, but I guess I'll kind of play around with it. I think at one point I was going to make a little winter coat out of this scrap fabric, but never did for a Wonder Frog. I am picturing warm, fuzzy, wrapped up clothing. Like a hood could be cute. Now the downside to using this fur is I'm going to be making an absolute mess when it comes time to cutting everything out. Let me see. probably going to have to bust out a pair of scissors or something soon. That's kind of cute. Doesn't really leave too much in the way of it's a like it looks like a lump of fabric essentially. I don't know why I'm so drawn to that. Let me see here. I think I'm gonna play around a little bit more, and then once I actually have a definitive direction I'm gonna head, I'll turn the camera back on. So I think I've settled on sort of like a Lord of the Rings Hobbit-esque cape for the design. Looking at sort of patterns online, it really just seems like it's a circle cape, like circle skirt kind of cape, nothing too fancy. Obviously you can embellish it a bit more, but I think what I'm going to do is just more or less kind of draft out how long I want it to be. We're using paper. So I'll say I want to go about knee length. You can kind of mark it on the other side of the paper. Oh shit, I lost my spot. And then I'm also going to mark this back of the cape, like center back, I guess, if you're technically into pattern making clothes. So I honestly, it would be easier if I just lined it up with the actual line on the paper. So I have from here to here the length of the cape from the neck to the hem. I'm just going to use a ruler to measure and draw the rest of the owl, I guess. 3 inches. So like here. I'm honestly not looking for it to be like the most accurate thing in the entire world. I'm just kind of roughly shaping out a quarter of this circle. And honestly, the most important part about pattern drafting is depending on how good you are at cutting things out. So I'm just going to fold along the line that I deemed as center back. And see, even that's uneven. I like how I said I'm not going to be too concerned, and then I'm like being meticulous about folding. And then just kind of cut this out. I really hope this turns out, but a lot of times when I start working on sort of making a Wonder Frog outfit, I don't have high expectations for finishing it. For every like one piece of clothing I've finished, there's about like 5 others that I started drafting out and never completed. So this is what I have so far. Not a ton of overlap, but again, this is made of paper, so it doesn't really have too much stretch. Now I'm kind of thinking about also if I trim it with fur, that'll kind of give the illusion of extra fabric in the front. I'm just thinking hood or no hood. Hood or no hood, honestly. Would be cute. Don't know if I feel like making it. I'm not sure. Let me try this with the little chicken body. The unroasted turkey. You know, maybe half a circle was not enough of the circle. So I'm just gonna go back to my piece of paper and possibly maybe add a little bit more. So I'm just gonna see if I have tape how, like, if I want this to be open in the front. Eyeballing it, I'd say that's 1 inch, so I want to add 1/2 inch on each side, maybe a little bit more. Take this piece of tape, don't mind the flamingos, I'm trying to use it up like crazy. I don't get a lot of opportunities to use washi tape in my everyday life, so I taped it the wrong way. That's fine. So that's the back, and say I want to give this side about 1/2 inch extra, and I'm going to go from this corner back to the center back point, and hopefully this will give me a little bit of overlap. I could also create sort of like an indent here that would allow for the neck portion to sit back a little bit further so it doesn't sit up, but we'll see. Now I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time, where I'm just gonna fold the paper, cut off the excess. Hard to fold. So before I cut out a little neck spot, so I've got this. Oh, it's not a good look. Let's see. Okay, cutting neck hole, placing hole in neck. There we go. It's looking much better. The back, that's pretty snug. Now I like it. Kind of has this cute little like mushroom cap bell shape to it. Some fabric. Because this is a plaid, I'm going to not necessarily cheat, but I'm going to use the pattern to kind of figure out the best placement for the little cape. If this was human clothing, you'd obviously want to, you know, the grain of the fabric would matter. But I mean, this is just a tiny little crafty thing I'm working on. I don't really care that much. use my fabric scissors, cut it out. I'm going to leave a little excess around the pattern just as some wiggle room around the hemline. Because this is a knit fleece, I don't have to worry about fraying, which is nice. Same with the fun fur fabric. Other than like cutting the extra little furs when you cut stuff out, the fabric itself does not need to be finished on the edges, which is nice. Usually what I'll use is either fray check or a glue stick on the edges of fabric, or I'll fully line something so there are no raw edges exposed on the inside. You don't know if the pattern will be 100%. I'm not exactly trying too hard here to make it perfect. Just cut out a little neck hole. I'm also not sure how I'm going to finish, like have a closure. If I wanted to do like a snap or like a little tie or something, or Velcro. I think with this fabric, Velcro would be kind of like just too bulky. But I'll figure that out when I get to that step. Just put these pins away. So, you know, not my finest pattern matching work, but now I can see how it fits. And I have a lot of this, well, I say a lot, but quite a bit of this piece of scrap fabric that I'm not heartbroken if I need to cut it out again or do any adjustments. I do really like how close it's fitting to the neck, because in my head I'm envisioning this as like a winter garment, so I'm like, oh yes, that looks nice and cozy. One thing I'm not crazy about, and this is honestly probably my fault due to, you know, pattern drafting and cutting, is the bottom edges aren't matching perfectly. And I mean, it's honestly not that big of an ordeal, but it is something that I'm like looking at being like, oh, probably could have trim one side. Also depends on how I want to wrap, right over left, left over right for the closure. If it mattered, but because this is my own little project, I don't care too much. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good. I don't know if I want to add armholes or not. I'm kind of not feeling the armhole situation. Just draft this on to the little chicken body, see how it works. Obviously this body is a little bulkier, but for this felt thing now I could like stick pins in lieu of closures to kind of see how it's draping and stuff like that. It's looking pretty good. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is look at trim finishing, because this is circular. Just trying to see, would it make sense? Yeah, look at this, little threads from my big fabric stash. Just trying to think if it makes sense to like have this sitting like this or more like this. I don't know, I feel like half the time is just because I like to play around with fabric and manipulate it and then go, oh, I think I'll like this. just gonna stick a pin here to kind of hold everything together. I'm kind of feeling like fur along the outer trim around, and then to reduce bulk, nothing on the inside. I don't know if I'm going to add anything to the bottom hem. I feel like that would be too much. Maybe I could put like a little frilly, like gather this up or something. I always go like, yes, gathered ribbon is exactly what this outfit needs. And then I start gathering it and I go like, actually, no. What am I thinking? So, and the tricky part is I don't leave a lot of the neck hole, like little circle cutout isn't huge. And this is pretty bulky. Let me try something. So I'm just going to cut a strip of this. You can kind of see this was the edge of the selvage edge of the fur. I'm just gonna cut along it. I'm not even gonna measure it, just kind of. Eyeball this. Might even be too much. I might actually just want like 1/2 inch, but whatever. Okay. Please don't mind my rather dull X-Acto knife. It gets used to open boxes. And that is out of my control. All right, so I have a tiny little scrap so far. Just going to see. Put this together. Like this. Like that's cute. The unfortunate part is that there's going to be this kind of like ugly edge here. I might have to like figure out how to mask. But like that going up, wrapped around. I'm probably going to hand sew the fun fur on. That's what the back looks like. And maybe this is where the ribbon can come in and kind of gathered ribbon. Look at me. I don't really know if this kind of like matches the vibe I'm going for though. Maybe black. Maybe not. Black looks pretty severe. Let me see. Just gonna cut a little bit more of this selvage so I have more fabric I can manipulate. Okay, great. Separated from your friends. So let's see here. I could, from the bottom edge, attach this, goes up to the neck. I might have to like cut a separate piece and it wraps around like that. Ooh, kind of looks like a beard. That's not the vibe I initially pictured in my head. Maybe it will not wrap around the front part. But like, that's cute. Oh, what? Maybe this. Attach these two together. Oh, yes. That is where it's at. 10 out of 10. Love it. That looks so nice. Okay, this is like actually completely changing the vision. Like, I'm getting like lion vibes from this, like Arctic lion. So oh, I need another pin. Let me see here. It is quite bulky. But like, that's cute. Almost a little like troll hairish, I guess, when it sticks up, but that's really cute. Very like Arctic tundra kind of. So, two things I need to kind of figure out. One is bulk, like attaching the two pieces of like this fun fur together. Could glue it, I guess. I don't know. I don't work with fun fur too much, even though it looks like I have a whole bunch. Glue that or sew it or something. And then figure out how I'm going to do this. I'll probably do snaps. And because, take this off for a sec. Because this is like so small, maybe I just like have these as permanently two separate pieces and like hook an eye or something. I don't know. Let's get that out of the way. So let me just take some time. I'm going to play around a little bit more, see how I can get these two pieces to coexist on the same realm of fabric. And I'll be back. What I ended up doing, and I think I have a little bit better game plan now. I shortened this. I put a little bit of fabric glue just to kind of hold these two pieces together while I was manipulating them. So I've got like the folded edge, the open edge, but it's a little wet, but it's not a problem because I'm going to be going through and I'm just going to quickly like maybe whip stitch this with some thick like embroidery floss to like hold it together. I'm not too concerned about this side. First, the furs are like commingling, and honestly, a lot of the like clothing that I make is like it looks good in a picture, so I'm happy with it. It's not like it's getting played with by like a kid, so it needs to be like super durable. It's pretty much a display piece, looks nice, photo shoot type of ensemble. So if it is a little bit more on the like fragile side, I'm not going to be too upset about it. And obviously this is something that I'm not like selling to other people. This is literally just me playing around with fabric and having fun. So my plan is, I think I'm going to kind of leave this a little bit as it is. It doesn't need anything too fancy because I think the collar is going to be the like the main show-stopping piece. But I'll probably add maybe 2 or 3 snaps down the front to keep it together. So I'll do like one up close, one here, and then one probably down at the bottom. I trimmed this side shorter, but now it looks like it's too short. So I'll definitely have to play around with that. I don't understand. They should be the same length. Anyways. And then once I've whip stitched this together, I'm kind of like thinking about leaving it as a separate piece, but then sewing in either like a hook and eye or like a little snap so these can go together, and then it'll be like this. And that's kind of one of the nice things, is that it doesn't have to be all one piece. It's just because this is so bulky, I don't want it to like manipulate the poncho / cape part. I want it to be able to kind of like, if I want it standing up, I can not pin it, but like snap it in more of like an upward position like this. If I wanted it laying down, I could do that. Oh, I think it would be cute with like a little hat. Anyways, I'm getting off topic, but then I could also use this piece for like other clothing, as it's more of like an accessory. For now, I'll just quickly stitch this all together. Ideally, I think I'd use like a gray thread or maybe like white, so these like little loops look more intentional, like they're supposed to be there, unless like that's just a raw edge of fabric. Or I could pick a blue out, but I think universally like a gray would be best. Let me see what I have here. Okay, thought I was gonna use embroidery floss, but looks like I'm sticking to just a regular thread on this one. I think the best option for this is I'm just gonna whip stitch it. I'm not too concerned if the like stitching is visible on this. Alright, so I just added 2 little snap closures in the front. I just need to add a little hook and eye or snaps or something to the front of this, and it's done. So I'm just gonna quickly get this started. Okay, so I just attached hook and eye closure onto the little fur collar. Hopefully looks how I'm envisioning it in my head. Let's see if I can just get this hooked on. Okay, there we go. It's not working. Okay, let me try this one more time. There we go. It's actually snapped on. Kind of hoping these two would have the closure would have overlapped a bit more, but I think that's just because I sewed the hook on so far out. Just gonna fluff up the collar a bit, but because it is a little bit on the looser side, makes it easier to, a little bit of wiggle room to manipulate the collar upwards. Yeah, there we go. I'm actually quite pleased with how cute this looks. So this is what I came up with for the little challenge I made for myself using fun fur and a piece of fleece. So let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching.